Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome back. Force here. Got an exciting series of games for you today between WhiteRa and BratOk. This is going to be a 3-game series kicking off the series here on Xel'Naga Caverns. And if someone else has already casted the series, well, I don't give a crap because there's no way of really controlling that. And I get that every now and then, I'll cast a game and someone will be like, hey, someone else has casted this game. You're like, well, what the F do you want me to do? Something you have to realize is that we record these games and then process and upload them. And processing and upload can easily take half the day. So if someone happened to record it and get it up to YouTube before I manage to, well, that is just too damn bad. You're going to have to sit down and listen to my style whether you like it or not. Before we get right into this game, too, I do want to give a big shout-out to my man, Orentheca. That is E-R-E-N-T-H-E-C-A. He is right here on YouTube. He's got his own channel. And this lovely gentleman crafted a nice illustration depicting me as a Terran Battlecruiser commander. It is probably the most phenomenal thing I've ever seen. Now, it is favorited on my YouTube channel, the StarCraft 2 channel, so if you want to go ahead and check that out, go ahead and do so. I'll also provide a nice little link in the video description, but this thing was phenomenal. I can't believe the amount of work that must have gone into it, so big props to him. Absolutely amazing work there, and I am quite impressed. Starting things out over here, looks pretty standard thus far. We are seeing a 12 racks and 13 refinery here from Mr. BratOk. Over inside of WhiteRa's base, fairly standard play as well. So nothing too out of the ordinary. Now, something to keep in mind is that Mr. WhiteRa here is quite known for his not cheesy, but definitely aggressive early game play. I suppose some people would call that cheese. And look at this probe on a mission right now. He is absolutely determined, bypassing the SCV, making its way on up, grabbing that Xel'Naga tower most likely as he passes by. Maybe not, actually skipping that Xel'Naga tower. Little pylon going down in the corner of the base there for WhiteRa. Wants to make sure no sneaky SCVs happen to make their way around there. Also, that's going to provide him the ability to warp units down here later in the game. Now over here for BratOk, first Marine making its way on out. A little harassment going down on that SCV. You can see he did take 20 damage there, and actually starting a little bit of a wall off there, putting down that second depot right there at the front wall. This is kind of telling me something. It's quite possible that we're going to be seeing a bunker here as well, and that we might be seeing some sort of tech play, teching up to something of sorts, because I don't know why else he'd be going for that wall if there really is no reason, unless he planned basically on putting down a bunker at some point. But maybe this is just a security just in case he happens to scout a 4-gate and decides at that point that he does need the bunker for early game defense, because really against a strong 4-gate it's a little bit hard as Terran to properly defend without that bunker, especially if you aren't going for something like a 3 racks with lots and lots of early forces. We do have that warp gate research, that's what it's called, coming on out right now. I almost called it, I don't know what I almost called it, but we had that warp gate research on its way out. Zealot chasing around that SCV, but to no avail. There was no way he's going to catch that, not in 1 million years. Well, I suppose at some point within 1 million years, because if he does get that charge upgrade, he could catch that. So yeah, anyway, coming down here with a quick expansion. BratOk deciding to go for that really fast expansion. Very ballsy move here. We do have him moving out with the Reaper, going to try to cause a little bit of harassment, following that up right now with the Marauder. So one racks fast expand, pretty popular build. You can actually see there BratOk did for a moment pull the guys off of the gas, and that is what allowed him to get that command center so early in the game. Now we do have this little probe moving around. Stalker going to be scouting that Reaper. Reaper going to want to get away. Don't want to take too many shots because he will be dropped to that Stalker very quickly, and down goes the Reaper. That's actually a really big loss here for BratOk this early in the game, because Reaper is 50 Vespian. That is quite the heavy investment really early on in the game. We do have 3 racks coming out and then dropping, and no, 3 gateways coming out and then dropping the pylon over here. So I am going to be guessing we're going to be seeing an expansion here from WhiteRa as well. So both players looking to expand pretty early. I would say that in this particular situation, WhiteRa does have the advantage early game because he did open up with this 3-gate. We can see the 3 racks coming out right now for BratOk, but it's going to be a while until he finishes those attachments and can start actually pumping out units. We can see Warp Gate research is available right now, though it doesn't look like WhiteRa is planning on pushing anytime soon. We can see he is scouting out the front of the base here with this one Stalker. He's going to see if any sort of aggression is moving on out. He does have just enough vision in order to do so, and we can see right now about a 1/4 of the way finished this Nexus is here for WhiteRa. We do have that orbital command just about finished for BratOk. Finally going to be coming out here with this refinery, massing up a small little force of units. Actually going to be going double reactor, so it looks like he's going to be going very marine heavy. Wouldn't be all that surprised if we saw that combat shield coming out right after that stim pack, especially considering he's going so marine heavy. And is he going to scout this expansion going down? Troops moving forward to push away that Stalker and try to prevent him from scouting that. Now, of course, WhiteRa is going to be a little suspicious for that little push, so wouldn't be too surprised if we saw another follow-up scout at some point. Does he have a robo coming out? Looks like he does, so going to be getting an observer as soon as that is up, and probably going to be pushing out with that observer to get a scout down. So it looks like we are having BratOk getting that saturation down at the expansion first. WhiteRa just about finished, so actually not too much later. And again, that robo's coming up, and not a whole lot besides that. There is in fact that combat shield. Look at that, I called it. Pretty obvious though. It doesn't take really a genius to figure that one out with 2 reactors here on these racks going so marine heavy. Quite logical that he would be getting that combat shield. And it looks like a little bit of aggression, if nothing more than pushing out to try to control the center of the map. We do have WhiteRa moving down right now. Now he is moving down with a probe as well, and so it looks like he's going to be putting down an aggressive stance. He is dropping that proxy pylon, so we do have an aggressive stance right now for WhiteRa. Going to be looking to push out. Needs to be a little bit careful. BratOk, as soon as that pylon's in, going to be able to warp in reinforcements, and here we go. Engagement going down. Nice force fields going down for WhiteRa. That is actually a big problem right now for BratOk. He does have these units in the back, but WhiteRa cutting those forces in half, and as such, the sentries and stalkers took no damage just because the majority of the units were not in range. BratOk needs to pump up this production right now. He needs to get out some more guys. We do have some reinforcements coming down right now for WhiteRa. BratOk forced to move down with the SCVs to engage. This is the only way he's really going to be able to save this. He is outnumbered at this point. Stim going down and trying to target fire down these units to as much damage as possible, but there are the reinforcements. This is a big problem right now for BratOk. He lost a ton of SCVs right there in that engagement. Going to be forced to pull home with those mules. No, they're going to get dropped, pulling back into the base, and BratOk is not looking to be in a good position, lifting off these units. Another proxy pylon right here, coming in with 3 more zealots, and BratOk losing the expansion. We can see, of course, WhiteRa nice and safe over here. So these early game gateway units, just a little too much for BratOk to deal with. He invested too much in this expansion, didn't have enough early game to defend. Needs to be careful, needs to micro away from the zealots as much as possible. Does he have concussive shell yet? No, he does not. Going to make microing a little bit harder. Stim pack going down, pulling away from that zealot. Does he have enough to push back this force? I think he may, but no, some more warp-ins going down. Taking a look at the army tab, we can see right now, vastly outnumbered, 20 supply behind. That is absolutely huge. Now, a large part of that discrepancy between those two numbers, of course, are all the SCVs that BratOk did lose, but either way, the continuous mining from both these bases also going to be dropping down these additional gateways. It doesn't look like WhiteRa planning on letting up anytime soon. Going to be warping in a bunch more units. What do we have for production over here? We do have some Immortals making their way out. Probably going to be rallied right down. And here we go, testing the waters here. Going to be trying to push in. Guardian Shield going down. BratOk forced to pull back again. Microing without that concussive shell away from those Zealots. Very difficult, especially with those force fields chopping down all of the Marines and Marauders in front. Trying to target fire down those sentries to drop that Guardian Shield. Obviously a great idea. Another Stim Pack going down. Going to be doing what he can to micro away, but it doesn't look like he has enough. Might be able to push this off just a little bit, but there are the reinforcements, and this is not looking good right now for BratOk. BratOk's going to want to pull down some guys from the line. There we go. SCV's moving down to engage. But again, this is just a terrible situation. Zealots moving forward, absolutely destroying Medevac. That didn't do a whole lot. Getting dropped almost instantly before it could even do any healing. And that looks like that is it. Nothing going on right now for BratOk. No retaliation. Flying a factory over there, but I don't know what he's planning on doing with that. He's got guys in his base. What he has for units is dwindling away right now. BratOk losing these last 2 Marines. 1 Marine does go down. Few guys pumping out right now, but we do have Zealots moving in the mineral line. That's going to force all of those SCVs to pull off the line, and now finally pulling back to re-engage with the supporting fire there of those Marines and that Marauder. Stim Pack going down to try to take them down quickly, but again, some more reinforcements. Again, BratOk pretty much looking to be out of this game right now. Not sure what he intends on doing, but he is just so devastated at this point. And again, we have had consistent mining over here from WhiteRa with absolutely no retaliation at all from BratOk. BratOk still floating that factory over there, trying to micro away, trying to save the day, doing what he can, but look at how low he is on resources. He can actually not make anything else after this point, and there is the GG. So we saw early expand from both players. BratOk deciding to go for that early expand a little bit quicker, because we did see WhiteRa open with that 3 gate into expand, and we did see that 1 racks into expand for BratOk. Now, unfortunately for BratOk, when WhiteRa managed to push out with that gateway tech, warping in a few rounds of units, unfortunately, again, BratOk did just not have enough, and something really big to realize is that he didn't have that concussive shell for most of that big engagement, and that is actually quite a huge problem, because it made microing away from those Zealots a little bit harder. Obviously, with Stim Pack and pulling back, you can still micro units away, but being able to actually kite them with that concussive shell, obviously not possible when you don't have concussive shell. So anyways, good game between these two players. We will be moving on to game number 2 right after this, so stay tuned, guys. But look at him just going to town there on that bunker. And meanwhile, over here, what do we got going on? BratOk going to be dropping in the back of WhiteRa's base. We also have this factory scout going down. This is actually going to cause a lot of damage. I hope WhiteRa is paying enough attention. BratOk, unfortunately, engaging those Colossus there with those Marines and Marauders. Not what he wants to do. Vikings moving forward. Going to start sniping down those Colossus very quickly. A continuous harassment here going down. BratOk doing tons of damage. In fact, I think he managed to kill off a lot of those probes. Big battle going on two fronts right now. SCV is pulling down, trying to repair that bunker, keeping up as long as possible. Vikings continuing to go to work on this Colossus.